Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining.
Alright, it seems we got ourselves a draft on our hands. Anyways, hello and welcome to the grand finale of the ProDotA Cup series sponsored by Azuba TV. I'm your caster today, Joe XD Try. Mad King's staying with his family, so I get to take the finale for a change. Feels pretty great to be doing this. And we're gonna jump straight into the first draft of this best of 5.
Team ban.
We got Team Horde from the upper bracket going up against No Logic Gaming.
Dire team
Definitely deserve to be facing up against the current champion.
Radiant team pick.
And Horde are gonna first pick a Keeper of the Light, a really powerful hero in the current meta. Not only can you make a couple of great combos with the Chakra magic, which is pretty damn powerful. I mean,
Radiant team
nowadays there's not only Bristleback and Kotal combo, which is what it used to be. You can combo all kinds of insanities with Kotal, especially those same I carry, I rely on abilities to deal damage with, but still scale late game kind of thing.
Remaining.
There, the Chakra magic is really effective.
5 seconds remaining.
Next to that, the Blinding Light is... I mean, 80% miss chance has always been really powerful, but now you can keep it up in the later stages of the game, literally 50% of the time. Pretty much anything about Kotal fits the current meta so well. His entire synergy, like there's no ability which is useless or which you only skill if you have to skill it. However, No Logic Gaming, they're going with an Ember here. Everybody is all about that spellcasting Ember. I personally favor the hybrid build, and maybe we're gonna see it. No Logic Gaming.
5 seconds remaining.
They've pulled some pretty crazy strats so far, and if there is a moment to pull cheese strat, then it's definitely now.
Reserve time.
And other than that, I'm just waiting for... Alright, Sand King coming out for Horde now. So, Sand King Kotal seems pretty good on paper, where you got like 5-second Burrow Strike cooldown. However, Neek's Assassin, he can insta-kill the Kotal pretty much in any stage of the game. Vendetta Impale into the mana burn and Kotal is down for sure. Don't think he'll even get time to react unless he's in his...
10 seconds remaining.
Unless Kotal gets an Aghanim's permanently in his spirit form, then he could maybe hit a Blinding Light, like right onto his sprite to knock back the Neeks.
Team ban.
And, you know, that way kind of drop the Impale. That would be the only option to really withstand a Neeks assassination well alone. So, this Kotal gotta stick to his lane if he doesn't want to die. We're going to see Juggernaut
10
and
seconds remaining.
Lifesteal being banned out here.
5 seconds
Lifesteal, of course, would have been great for Horde because you got a taxi with the Sand King.
Reserve time.
Since Sand King also got the epicenter, he can prevent Lifesteal from being kited around. And now a lot of reserve time being taken up here by No Logic Gaming. This, of course, is only the first match. We get at least another one after this. So maybe not all cheese strats are going to get pulled yet. I definitely hope to see something insane, which you don't see in your everyday meta games. And now for Horde's last ban. There might be a bit of reserve time going in there. Just to show that you're serious alone at this stage of the draft.
Reserve time. Radiant team pick.
Alright, Slark being banned out, not a really big surprise. I mean, he counters Kotal with the blinding light, he can just purge it off. He's pretty decent against Sand King
10
as well, the
seconds
ability
remaining.
to purge off the poison as well as the center
5
stacks.
seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Witch Doctor!
I mean, it's a 30% slow
Dire
from
team pick.
the epicenter for 3 seconds. That and the poison both really annoying, so Slark a good ban, but No Logic Gaming, they're gonna pick up a Witch Doctor, one of the heroes I love, and
10
I just don't
seconds
see this
remaining.
hero enough. You got a nice little RNG element with the
5
casks,
seconds
and you can I really like to rely upon Maledict during the laning stage to like enable my team
Reserve
kills and
time.
stuff. So there's always those really clutch kills where you think somebody's getting away and he takes down. It's so satisfying. Now Horde's reaction to the Witch Doctor. What will it be? I figure a Rubik wouldn't be bad here. Boom! Called it!
Radiant team pick.
Sweet. I finally start to make right calls. Rubik picked up for Horde right now.
Ten seconds remaining.
I mean,
5
he got
seconds
everything they need. Ember Spirit deals a shit ton of magic damage, so resistance against that is pretty
Reserve
helpful. Nyx Assassin, magic damage mostly, except for the Vendetta. A lot of good steals as well. I mean, the worst possible steal here would be, I don't know, Slayer of Fists, I guess? I guess the 3 worst steals would be Slayer of Fists, Spiked Carpus, and from Witch Doctor, I guess the Voodoo Restoration, but that can still help Horde win a couple of team fights here, so I really like this pickup. There's no reason not to like it.
Abyssal Underlord!
Dire team pick.
Alright, now no Logic Gaming throwing out the Abyssal Underlord. A hero, he used to be first ban material like a month ago, and nowadays most people don't even think about drafting him anymore.
10 seconds remaining.
Couple of times he's picked up just because he's so sturdy, so tanky. If you like,
5 seconds remaining.
if you know your enemy is gonna try to focus on winning your off lane, where your carry lane is already superior to their off
Reserve
lane, I
time.
don't know, those passive, slow off laners. But I haven't seen a lot of this guy. Very curious as to how well No Logic Gaming can play him, can make him work this particular draft, most of all. The Snare is really good with Witch
Radiant team
Doctor.
ban.
And yeah, I guess other than that, it's his aura. That's the only reason he's good at all. Meanwhile, Horde picking up a, well, not much more interesting hero, the Alchemist. At least
10
this
seconds remaining.
will pace up a game a little bit, makes it faster.
5
'Cause
seconds remaining.
He cranks up his own net worth, but later on with those
Dire
Aghanims,
team down.
Rubik could definitely use one, Kotal can use one. This seems great on paper. Like, Sand King might be forced to build his own if Alchemist decides to play a fighty game where he mans up early on.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
And Urza being banned out. Urza with Alchemist and Rubik seems pretty good because you got a ton of lockdown, and Urza is one of those carries who doesn't need to farm a lot. He If he gets a decent laning
Dire
stage,
team
maybe an
hit.
early Roshan, you're good to go. You got your Blink there, you got your Face Boots, got your, I don't know, Vanguard Skull Basher kind of setup, or Poorman's Shield. Both work really well on Urza.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
And Horde about to go for the last
Reserve
pick. We
time.
still got 40 seconds left, so all the time in the world for them to decide here, sadly.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Vengeful spirit.
Radiant team pick.
Alright, now Horde picking up the Vengeful Spirit last. Great hero, benefits from Alchemist's Aghanims, still doesn't need Aghanims badly enough to purchase one herself, so if it comes to a late game, they got that going on for
10
themselves. Of
seconds
course,
remaining.
Core Venge, really interesting here.
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, Core Venge, I
Reserve
feel like
time.
it just gets shut down really hard by the Atrophy Aura. Either she needs to stay out of the Atrophy Aura, or they need to burst down Pit Lord using magic
10
damage
seconds
as
remaining.
soon as the fight starts, since Venge relies on damage amplification and on
seconds
just
remaining.
stacking a lot of damage if you play her hard carry. The armor reduction is really nice, and No Logic Gaming throwing out Meepo here, so safe lane Ember Spirit, mid lane Meepo, it seems like. Not really what I expected, still a very nice pick. I like that Meepo is kinda relevant in the current meta. Nowadays he's not too relevant anymore, as in you can counter him, but as a last pick he's great. I don't see why Meepo as a last pick wouldn't work out in any way possible. And we got typical new Dota issues. So yeah, Horde has one game advantage, meaning if they win 2 in a row, then this grand finale is not gonna be grand at all. But judging by the draft, I think game 1 might be to No Logic Gaming, unless either team pulls out something really particular. Anyways, I will go ahead and introduce the teams real quick. So over on Horde, we got Ake, former Alliance player, on the Keeper of the Light. We get Pablo on the Rubik. We get Excalibur on the Alchemist. I still don't know how to pronounce Vengeful's name, Gorg C or something. And last but not least on the Sand King, we got 33. Over on No Logic Gaming side, we got J4 on the Witch Doctor. Next up is Kaiser on the Ember Spirit. This guy actually has a pretty badass loadout. I mean, I personally prefer the rapiers. This is pretty great. Oh, also, seems like my introduction has to be delayed a little bit since we're going to see Smoke Gang. Not sure if it will find anyone. They still got a bit of smoke time left.
30
Great game
seconds
sense
to
here
go.
from NLG, but Ember Spirit gets caught out. Telekinesis back. Vengeful Stun coming in. Keeper of the Light followed by
Is quenched.
Burrow Strike. Yeah, he goes down. He's so dead. That's first blood for Horde. Getting themselves a bit of an edge here. Maybe that will make up for their kinda disadvantageous draft. English is hard.
The battle
Anyways, we got
begins.
Milan on the Neek assassin to continue the introduction.
Tribute.
Focus back on the Meepo, and last but not least, Nikwa on the Underlord. So we got a Radiant Ward defensively in the Dire Jungle here. Oh, also, Oh yes, hotkeys. Anyways, there we go. Terribly sorry for that one, guys. It's been 2 minutes as well, but at least it will go down by the time chat tells me to like get rid of the overlay. So that's pretty good timing. Meanwhile, the laning stage is gonna start. Mid lane Meepo actually starting off with a ton of last hits. Power of a tactical poof. Alright. Excalibur taking last hit lead in the middle lane. Meanwhile, No Logic Gaming got Ember Spirit, ran on a tri-lane, which might indicate old-fashioned hard carry Ember Spirit actually. Since spellcasting Ember Spirit, I don't know. I mean, it could be that Neeks or Witch Doctor decide to rotate a lot, so Ember Spirit gets sufficient experience to still play the casting like spellcast Ember Spirit, which everybody's playing right now, but this could hint towards a good old-fashioned Ember Spirit. I'm just saying, just throwing that out there in case it happens. I already got the Rubik call right, so might be my lucky day. And Nikwa just having such a relaxing lane. Atrophy Aura plus, you know, Poorman's Shield. He's good to go. Bench and Rubik can't really damage him a lot. His last hits aren't looking too good, but at least he's really safe in lane, so eventually he'll catch up. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, we got a dive on the Ember Spirit. Got punished by the Maledict there, but there's not really the damage to go for a kill here. Maybe with Neeks Assassin going in Impale on the Sand King, but that was the last tick already, so he's gonna live. If that would have been at the beginning of the Maledict, then maybe, but 2-0 for Horde so far. They're definitely establishing a lead here. Meepo heading towards the jungle really early on now. His lane was going really well, but apparently not fast enough for this guy. Poke's back, killing a couple of wolves, while Elk is just quietly pushing in.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And Elk already starting to generate some serious net worth here, but same can be said for the Meepo, who is now farming mid lane while another Meepo picks up the bounty rune. So Meepo and Elk now evened in CS. Meepo got a bit of a rune advantage. I'm really digging his loadout, by the way, Knight Meepo. And Elk's.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Alright, he's getting Iron Talon, Sage's Mask as well. Just a couple of casual laning items. Meanwhile, this tri-lane, how unstable it seems. I mean, it's definitely not working the way that No Logic intended it, but there's still a surprising lack of aggression here. I mean, Vengeful currently out-farming Ember Spirit by a great deal. 12 lasts on Ember to 21 on the Vengeful. Sword, of course, can't really contest. He can just stay alive and make sure his team gets space to go for a tri-lane, but if it doesn't yield anything for Ember Spirit... What I'm trying to say is this guy needs to catch desperately, be it by kills or by last hits. And I mean, Kotal's pushing in, so Kaiser, he has quite a bit of space to farm. Sand King, of course, pretty dangerous. He decides to back off immediately.
Tower is under attack.
And 33 now going aggressive onto the Ember Spirit.
Radiant's bottom tower.
A slightly earlier Searing Chain was possible there. Would have maybe saved his life. I don't think it's very likely, but still. And now Ember Spirit, he's 0 and 3, so much for being that hard carry. Bench really low health on the lane here, but I don't think Pitlord has any way to go for the kill. Yeah, a single Firestorm isn't gonna cut it. This is like 300 health. Whoa, meanwhile, all of a sudden teleports in onto Focus back. Excalibur already killed off the Witch Doctor, came to his aid, and now Meepo going down. Double kill for Excalibur here. Horde now leading 5-0. This is pretty bad for No Logic. No Logic meanwhile trying to force a bit of aggression on the top lane, but yeah, Meepo and Witch Doctor going into the enemy territory there, getting punished for it. They were just chasing Alchemist as well.
Just what Doctor ordered.
Nigua meanwhile just doing Pit Lord things. Sneaks Assassin harassing Rubik for a bit, but he's only level 2, so
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
NLG are all of a sudden in a really tight spot. Elk going for his armlet already. Is gonna have it really soon since Revol's Greed is just so powerful at this stage. There we go. Armlet done. Probably now going for the Radiance. Might be a slightly different build. I can't say for certain. Getting 2 value clarities up in there as well. So he can spam away with that acid spray. And an aggressive wraparound onto Milan on his Sneaks Assassin. He was trying to get some levels. He is level 3, but yeah, Elk gonna turn his ultimate on. Finds the Neeks there. Pablo goes in with the lift. Keeper of the Light. Dishing out a good deal of damage here, but they're forced to retreat as Focus back comes in, and this might cost them Pablo's life. It will actually. Milan now low health on the Neeks Assassin. Meanwhile, wait, will it connect? No, it won't. Milan got out of there, but just barely. Meanwhile, Sand King got killed up on the bottom lane by the Witch Doctor, so I guess Ember Spirit gets a bit of experience, gets a bit of space to make up for his 3 deaths. One assist isn't gonna matter that much, but it still helps him get towards a comfortable amount of like farm and everything. Hitlord meanwhile instead the creep wave, getting himself a bit of atrophy damage.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Shiny! Double damage!
So, No Logic, they managed to do a slight pull, like a mini comeback you could say, by punishing the aggression here from Horde's side. Vengeful Spirit, who hasn't made any fighting appearance so far, is sitting pretty comfortable in terms of farm. I mean, Pitlord can't really go on her, even when she's at 300 health chilling in the lane. Now she, on the contrary, can go on him with a little help from the Keeper of the Light, and he's trying to get out of there with his ultimate. It would have worked if it wasn't for Sand King, but that's gonna be Nikwa down. He is third in last hits as well. Meanwhile, Meepo, however, also farming up a great deal. Already got his first Dragonlance. Working towards that second one at a rapid speed. Elk, meanwhile, gonna hit a pretty good Radiance timing on his own though, so both of these hard carries, well, mid lane cores, but they're going to be the primary carries, I feel, are getting a good deal of farm. And while Alchemist and Rubik are farming, both teams are doing their best to play the laning stage as safe as possible, make sure they don't lose anyone. Horde's unnecessary Horde's extreme aggression, which we saw earlier on, has stopped. They're no longer trying to pressure the Ember Spirit down bottom. They feel like they've shut him down enough. And No Logic Gaming, after being punished for the dive in onto Alchemist as well, where like all the Shrine TPs happened. They're both playing somewhat more conservatively. You get to see Kotal on a ward mission, but that's it. So I'll actually check the items really early on. Pit Lord is going for his mech. He's still almost 800 away. And I mean, he got mana boots already. Got his Firestorm to farm. Sand King going for a huge mass blasted here. Kaiser was thinking about jumping for that one, but decides against it. Level 1 Fire Remnants. Chain isn't even level max.
Under attack.
It's not enough for a full health Sand King. If Neeks would be able to make anything happen here, however, it would. And he's patient, he knows exactly where to wait. Just barely outside of tower range. Alchemist, not too nearby.
Tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower.
Meanwhile, the top lane, however, we got Nikwa charging up his ultimate. He will fail to do so, which means Focus Back is about to go down here. He tries to poop out, will hit the floor, and that's Meepo down.
Bottom tower is under
2
attack.
heroes for the free pickings for Horde by that beautiful counter TP in. The Neeks rotation ends up being completely wasted. Horde get a huge 1.3k. Maybe 1.2k. That's a huge momentum swing actually.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Neeks meanwhile going in this, looking for a kill, but they're all grouped up still on Horde's side. He scouts it out, sees 3. They decide to go into the vent. Beautiful swap in time onto J4. Gets up a cast, but that's about it. Now Neeks on the run, gets Burrow Strike, Epicenter committed. Ember Spirit decides to jump in. He got the Flame Guard to tank up the Epicenter hit. They get the Vengeful down so far, but that's all. Ember mana leaked, so Kotal can get away here, I think. Yeah, they're gonna disengage Horde.
Radiant's bottom
Getting yet
tower
another
is under attack.
ever so small net worth swing, I think. Might actually be in favor of NLG, that one.
Dire's
Either way,
middle
Focus
tower
Back
is under attack.
got some extra time to farm, which is pretty good. Elk meanwhile just pushing. He got his Radiance finished, but hasn't really constructed it yet.
Never refuse gold.
Courier now coming in. So Elk is gonna start farming insanely fast and pushing insanely
Radiant's
fast
middle tower is under attack.
pretty soon. Meanwhile, Meepo, however, got 2 Dragonlances complete. Well, the second one is in the Courier. And alright, Vengeful Spirit actually kills Kaiser, who I think against better judgment left the safety of his tower, and Neeks Assessment tried to save him, goes down as a punishment as well. Like, No Logic Gaming, whenever I look on the map, they got this game sense to be grouped up around the tower, and then one person goes out to face check, and that person gets punished, and then No Logic Gaming, they jump to save that person, kind of save your buddy syndrome. Where they end up being punished really hard for trying to save their hard carry who face check. If they just let him go down and make an aggressive counter rotation, maybe with the Meepo or something, I feel like they'd get much further. I really like this loadout.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is
Alright,
under attack.
so
Radiant's
NLG
middle
pushing a
tower
counter
has
tier
fallen.
1, however,
Dire's top
Horde
tower
already
has
pushed the
fallen.
middle tier 1, so
Radiant's bottom
2 to
tower
1 in
is
terms of
under
tier
attack.
1s. Horde making sure they expand their gold advantage, and they're now pushing a tier 2 already. NLG, it looks like they're not planning to rotate, they
Dire's
instead
top
want to
tower
tier
is
2
under
as well. Make sure that the game progresses really fast so that NLG get a chance to not deal with
Radiant's
Alchemist's
bottom
incredible
tower
late
is
game.
under attack.
Their
Dire's
tower damage
top
isn't
tower is
insignificant
under
at all. Meepo's doing a good deal of work. Pitlord helping as well.
We'll take that.
But tier 2
top
already
tower
dropped
has
by
fallen.
Horde. shortly after NLG get their top tier 2. So one mid, basically the entire tower difference is this one mid tier 1 tower, which Horde managed to sneak in after Alchemist had already pressured it shortly before he left his lane, and with that now Horde in a pretty comfortable spot. I'm gonna switch to network actually. And Alchemist, he gets Maledict up. Will still kill off the Witch Doctor with a single hit. Ray is burned there, helping as well. Milan meanwhile scouting. Nikwa ulting up just to get out of there. And it's gonna be... well, at least it's gonna be a disengage for no logic, since that seems where they're struggling most.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
This is gonna be a road contested by Horde here. Alchemist with double damage rune. Definitely putting the hurt on good old Roche. Yeah, this is just gonna be a free Roche.
Work for both of us.
It better.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
The Venge hard carry, which so far doesn't really feel like a hard carry. At least Dragonlance is coming in. Farming up some engines. I mean, Horde, they're definitely in a good spot, and Vengeful Spirit can definitely become a fearsome hard carry, but right now Excalibur is the one soaking up all the farm. Looks like we're gonna see another tier 1 trade.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
The bottom tier 1 is gonna be demolished by NLG here. They're actually faster than Horde, and they're gonna move on onto the tier 2. They're gonna need to scout. Actually sitting in the trees, kinda indicating he's there with the blinding light. Meanwhile, Nick's assassin going onto the Sand King. Meepo comes in for assistance, and that's gonna be a dead Sand King. The rest of Horde comes in to contest this, but with the Meepos there, how much can Alchemist do? Not a lot actually. He goes down for the first time. He's still got Aegis, but against Meepo he can't really get out. Meepo's damage is just too consistent. Sand King, I think he bought back. He's coming back in. Alchemist now gonna get focused down by the Meepos. Sand King still alive. Big epicenter here, but the Meepos keep working on him. They're all still somewhat stable in health. Beautiful burrow strike. Poof out from the low health Meepos. All the low health Meepos gonna poof out. 2 carries for 3 supports. No Logic Gaming, they're on their way back into the game. There's still 1 middle tower behind, but that's about it. Got the tier 2 down to half health. And the fact that Meepo survived that fight is gonna get him so much closer to his sheepstick. Alright, Neeks. Well, I'm doing some admin stuff. Neeks Assassin just killed off the Sand King. I'm sorry guys, casts turn out to be really chaotic during the first game of finale games like this one. Alright, what just happened? Keeper of the Light just went down by Meepo. Tried to escape. I thought they were gonna focus on the Vengeful, which they now are with the Searing Chains. Followed by the Impale. Maledict committed as well. Venge is dead here. Meepo is gonna come in for a clean finish. That's double kill on Meepo. Now the middle tier 2 is gonna get pushed. Alchemist alive again, but he can't really do anything. He's just gonna farm up in the Radiant jungle here.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Alright, Meepo actually stealing the Firestorm here. Dealing a great deal of damage on the Meepo. Meepo, however, he's just face tanking it with the Witch Doctor ultimate to back him off. That might actually not be the worst choice ever. Excalibur will live. Everybody else forced to back out now. Maybe the low health Meepo remaining in there was a bit of a risk. Pitlord ultimate evacuating everybody though. No Logic Gaming there, now on the aggression. They've taken back a good deal of the gold lead, especially considering this is an Alchemist game. The Meepo definitely paying off, and Ember Spirit, he got Veil, he got Boots of Travel. I will show the items right now, and now they got a bit of peace and quiet. So on Alchemist we got Radiance, Yasha, he's going for his Manta style but can't quite get there. And of course the typical early game fighting armlet. Meepo meanwhile got 2 Dragon Lances, as well as an ultimate orb and a Blink Dagger. That's how he caught onto that Kodal there. On Neeks we got a Blink, pretty much typical Neeks items, and Vengeful still not really well farmed. Anyways, back to it, we got Neeks Assassin. Spotted out by Vision in enemy territory. He's gonna go down, tries to just put a lot of damage on Sand King, doesn't end up being that much as he anticipated, I guess. He didn't get his full combo of after all. Now we get Antigua being gone on as well. Beautiful Burrow Strike, Vengeful Stun, everything. He's down. Tried to get out, but couldn't really. Kaiser just doing some rat work. Working on the tier 2 here, while the mid tier 2 from the Radiant side is going to be sacrificed. But of course, they still have 1 tower lead, so even if they end up trading here, it's worth it. Ember could now return to be back home in time for a defense if he decides to do so. The mid tower, however, it's gonna get sieged here. There's not really much of a reaction from the Radiant. They just focus on having Meepo push out top lane. Tier 2, but immediately after, Horde are going to get forced back to defend their own base. Excalibur, of course, he doesn't mind. He's great at pushing. He's got his Manta style now. He can just do this. Defend one lane, send some illusions to push it out, and go to the fight. Fight, however, starting off by Kodal hitting the floor, followed up by that. Oh my god, that's Vengeful going down there actually. We got a beautiful big epicenter on all the Meepos, comboed with Burrow Strike and Alchemist. Crap ton of damage, so the Meepos are gonna go down. Milan now trying to get out on the Neeks setup. He's just gonna turn his stun on. Ember Spirit coming in with Searing Chains. He gets his blink off, so Neeks Assassin is out of there. Excalibur is just gonna self-stun, can't dodge it with the Manta style here. And they are going to reinitiate here actually. Medic on the Rubik, Impale as well, he's dead. Alchemist, Excalibur without his ultimate. Not that hard of a target anymore. Ember Spirit outputting a lot of damage. He's going low on mana, but he's still got... Okay, never mind. Guardian Greaves are gonna get... Just... Oh my god, he gets annihilated all of a sudden. That was so calm and collected from Kaiser as well. They're gonna let the Sand King live to tell the tale, but damn. 2 kills, trade for Meepo. Beautiful fight reset there, resulting in a clear win for No Logic Gaming. They're standing their ground. Definitely getting there. Excalibur, he's really farmed, he's really dangerous with Radiance, with Manta style. Now going for a BKB since he knows he can fight. But if we get a repeat performance of the last fight where everybody on No Logic just waits for Alchemist stuff to wear off. Like no more ultimate, no more epic regen. Rubik was down as well, so you don't even get the extra spell resistance. Then Alchemist is also a pretty manageable target.
Never refuse gold given.
Alright, they smoke up. Pretty sure they did so on the ward, yeah. Team Horde just saw No Logic smoke up. They're all on the retreat. Maybe No Logic will be able to find Excalibur. And it looks like it with Ember Spirit jumping forward, followed by an Impale from the Neeks test. And this is the hybrid Ember build. Since I see a couple of Thunder Strikes bounce to and fro. Epicenter there, not getting the value it should. And now we are going to see Excalibur stunned up in Witch Doctor's ultimate for a bit there. Trying to force that him out, but not gonna get him over the wall. Chains from the Ember Spirit not connecting, however. Gonna get to see so many stuns here. Now Rubik with telekinesis again as well. Rubik, however, is gonna go down, saving Excalibur's life. There is one Meepo now isolated. They're gonna focus on that one Meepo. Pitlord coming in with his ultimate. Will it be enough? It will actually. They almost got the Alchemist themselves there, but No Logic Gaming, they've started utilizing Pitlord to its fullest potential. This is really impressive actually, since even in pro scene, everybody always plans on getting those great Pitlord ultimates off, but most teams still get a bit too greedy, a bit too aggressive with those Pitlord ultimates where you think, yeah, we can go in right before you cast the ultimate to like try and get a kill out of there and then teleport when we're all low health, and then they get picked off one by one, starting with the Pitlord, and nobody gets out. But No Logic, they know. Like, they don't use the Pitlord ultimate as their main tool of escape. They use it, like, they don't rely on it. They use it as an easier method of escape. Alright, we're gonna see a smoke gang. The entirety of Horde, however, thanks to Roche, walks into it. Now going to see Vengeful Spirit drop at the beginning of the fight. That's going to be the negative aura at the very least for Horde here. Evo hitting the floor, Neeks test as well. Neeks test now buying back. Keeper of the Light hitting the floor. Excalibur getting chained up. Hunter, however, to get rid of the chains. Halfway their duration. It's now a Witch Doctor, a Pit Lord, Ember Spirit, and Neeks assassin. Brawling it out here. Santin getting low health. Using the... Wait, who actually put him in the air? Was it his own Eels? Yeah, I guess it was. But a little bit of time there. Beautiful jukes from Pablo evading the Ember Spirit. Meanwhile, Ilan chased Excalibur all the way to the base and got punished for it. Alright, we got Kaiser still chasing for the Rubik, but then as soon as he sees the Alchemist, he's gonna back out, take the double damage rune there, and this might be a Roach attempt from No Logics. Ember Spirit with the right positioning, he could put the threat into this Roach pit. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And blink out as well. Now it's just a bit of rinse and repeat here. Roche not gonna be down that quickly, and with the Ember Spirit harass. Alright, we're gonna see a swap out of the Witch Doctor with the reacting with an immediate cast. Alright, Alchemist decides to stop his Roche attempt there, just to kill off the Witch Doctor, but I guess it buys a bit of time, but Witch is gonna respawn really damn early. Pitlord meanwhile going for the walk around. Flamestorm on Roche. Yeah, a bit too early to get any chance of getting a lucky Roche kill there or anything. So this is gonna be a Roche for Horde. Meepo going for Scotty. This Meepo is gonna reach his maximum potential relatively quickly actually. Like, sell off the power threats for a Scotty, sell off both Dragon Lances for a Scotty. You then got 3 Scotties, as well as Blink Dagger, Sheet Stick, and Teleport Boots. Seems pretty good to me. We're gonna see Sand King jump in, getting kinda punished for going in here, but as soon as Alchemist gets spotted, everybody trying to evacuate the scene. That Elk is really big and really dangerous. Milan now doing his best to run out. J4 placing a really quick ward there, giving his team vision and helping them to juke out. However, will it be enough for Kaiser? He's trying to Remnant out. Getting chased by Rubik's Remnant, but Rubik not quite as fast. Doesn't have a Blink Dagger of his own, only got 4 staff and Glimmer Cape.
Dire's top tower
And Horde now aggressively positioned in the Radiant jungle. Meanwhile, Focus back. He's got his Meepo squad. I can't wait. He's actually going nuke damage Meepo instead of like 3 Scotty unstoppable Meepos. And Ember just farming top, but we got 5 man rotating in from Horde. Alchemist proccing the ultimate a bit early, but he got Aegis, so that might have just been confidence. Ember Spirit gonna jump out. Alchemist dodges the self stun this time around. Neeks assassin gets the ult up. First strike is slightly off timed. Beautiful Pit Lord ultimate once again, where Pit Lord just goes in to buy his team space to back off. He gets focused on for a little bit, but he can take it because he knows his ult will already like proc in half a second or so. It's nearly impossible to nuke down somebody as tanky as a Pit Lord. I meant to select Pit Lord there, yeah. He got Pipe, he got Guardian Greaves, Blade Mail, and still the Poorman's Shield, which is doing some work. And it looks like he's gonna opt for Hard Trask and Shiva's Guard. Shiva's, of course, truly great item to keep his team alive. Same would go for Assault Curse, both of those and a Heart, like either of those and a Heart, and you're pretty much the best possible aura tank. You got like 3 incredible auras and your Atrophy.
Middle tower is under attack.
I really like this build. Meanwhile, Excalibur, he finished his Octarine Core right after his BKB, reducing the BKB cooldown quite a bit. Making it more spammable, more of a tool and less of like trump card. Especially once the once it's been reduced to 5 seconds. So we got focus back here. Caught in the dire jungle. Everybody is going on him. Pit Lord roaming in, trying to save Meepo there, but Meepo is gonna get torn apart. BKB, everything committed there. 5 focusing 1, but it works. Pit Lord just teleporting out. Alchemist, however, got a stun ready. Even with Blade Mail, they're just gonna take it. They're with 5, just splitting the damage equally. And that's 2 big assets down. The only one still alive of any significance for NLG is Ember Spirit, who is farming towards Octarine Core here, so really not opting for the latest of late games. But they got Ember. Like, if necessary, even with those kind of items, you sell your bottle for crits or something like that. Not saying it's necessarily good, but I'm saying it could work since you're not really sacrificing much if you have to go for a carry build later on.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, you can keep the Blink, you can keep the Maelstrom, you can even keep the Octarine Core and TP boots. The only thing you'd need to get rid of for more of a carry build would be the Veil. Meanwhile, we're gonna see a high ground attempt from Horde here while Meepo and Pit Lord are still down, and it's gonna get down Neeks. Horde, they're no longer defending against the split pushing Ember Spirit. They're doing their own thing, pushing in mid lane now, and it seems to be really effective.
Radiant's middle barracks have
That's the first lane already gone, and looks like they want to continue here. Alchemist ult up and whacking away at the tower there. We're 34 minutes in. This is pretty decent timing for either side, and I called this during the draft. Swap out the Pit Lord, kill the Pit Lord to make sure the enemy team doesn't have anything in terms of crowd control left. They got a Meepo, but Meepo and Ember against 5, especially with the epicenter. Oh my god, they just got evaporated. And Ember and Meepo buying back here, but this is second lane of Rax. If Horde decides to push through for the Mega Creeps, which they definitely can if they want to, then this is gonna be GG. And 33 going back in onto the Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit now stunned by the concussion. Alchemist putting a good deal of damage on him. The chain's committed there. Ember Spirit trying to run out, standing himself with the Mana Leak. Meanwhile, Milan on the leaks hitting the floor. Now Meepo actually going down. Rubik. Alright, he steals chains from Ember. He's helping. And GG being called. 2 viewers getting a prize for witnessing the glorious victory, so the last chance to get a couple of value items from this cup, since it's the final game. And we got a match point for Horde right now. If they win one more game, then this is a way too fast.